I was watching one of KJ's most recent uploads about the satanic revolution and how the Antichrist beast system is kind of rising in a warlike manner against Christianity and Christian values. But he mentioned in the videos something very specific about Sigil Magick. And he reminded me, because it's not the first time he's mentioned this, that this is something I was supposed to talk about on the channel. Because it's actually something I've had direct experience with. If you've been following my channel, you may have noticed I uploaded a video of a conversation I had with a friend of mine from university who I got to know there on my course doing art, who was an outspoken ritualistic Crowleyan Satanist who was obsessed with Sigil Magick. It was a big part of his artwork. I've got some pictures saved on my hard drive which I'll try and share with you, showing his studio space. You can get a gist of just what this guy was doing. Now, as far as it goes with his belief system, you have to understand a bit of context there. He's not evil. I don't think he has any intent to do harm to anybody, or at least he very convincingly didn't come across like that. Although I do believe perhaps he was quite a lonely individual. I was good friends with him because I was into very similar things at the time, into sacred geometry within my artwork when I was doing my course. And someone like him was fascinating to me because he was an outspoken occultist, and I wanted to know more about esoteric perspectives for my research. So getting to know him, I realised, he's a nice guy, but he has some very bizarre beliefs. And at the time I thought they were cool, fair enough, whatever, it's different, But as I've got deeper into my research, and now obviously this is 4 years on now, I'm pushing 5 years, I've come out of that worldview and perspective and understanding of the conspiracy, and I would say I'm a Christian. I don't have any particular denomination or any church or history. I'm quite new to this, but that's what I understand the truth to be, and I accept that truth. So listening back, I'd say he's more of a pop culture Satanist. It's not quite the same as the Illuminati controllers. It's more of a lower level common Satanism, which is all about self-ascension, astral travel, and exploring your consciousness to new, higher planes. But we know this is a deception. But as you can see from his artwork here, his style was quite erratic and chaotic, as was his philosophies and beliefs that things should be. He was always doing a lot of drugs, partying hard, I suppose, but he wasn't young. I won't say his age, and you could tell this is taking its toll on him, mentally and physically. But he appeared happy, but I could tell he was a tortured soul, looking back. And I guess you could see that in his artwork too. Now, sigils are something he explained to me personally. He believed there was great power behind sigils. I'll bring up on the screen a good official description of what Sigil Magick is, but this is something personal from a direct magician who practices these things. Now, the way he describes it is that a sigil is a personal symbol created by your own conscious mind without consciously thinking about it, essentially, which holds power to you and can bring you power and also control over others. Or at least he talked about it in a sense of empowering others by sharing these symbols, or putting an emotion and a feeling into the symbol, an intent, and then giving that symbol to somebody, the intention would then rub off on them, I suppose. But he would constantly scribble sigils everywhere he went, anytime he got a chance to have a sketchbook or a notepad. And whenever he would come round to mine, this is something I found here, where he would, here's something I found that he drew. Pull from this what you want. There's actually a lot going on here if you care to actually read it and look at it and stare at it for a while. But essentially I see the scribblings of a madman, but to him this was magic, pure sigil magic, and he believed it held power. Now, in respect to looking back at it now, knowing what I know, this man is heavily influenced and possessed by demons. It's just very clear. And in terms of art and power and symbols, maybe he was transferring these demons through these symbols and sigils. But essentially I realised from this something interesting is we all actually have one sigil which we're all trained to create and have, which we're kind of forced to have, and it's our signature. Obviously it's in the name. But this sigil, as he described it, is a personal scribble, something only you can create, that came straight from you personally, that no one else can perfectly copy themselves, because it's a fluid motion, an unconscious motion, which isn't so easy to copy, and is chaotic to some extent. And this sigil, your signature, has power, real tangible power we can kind of measure. You put your signature on things that are legal documents, and to put your signature on it is a binding action in terms of contracts. So there you go, there's literal power in that sigil that you have personally, which is your signature. Just another example of how we're living in a very occult world ruled by symbols and sigils, and as KJ said, it really is all around us.